Welcome, everyone. Let's jump into these high stakes moves in global economics. We're talking about the US dollar in free fall, while Trump is reportedly in a state of panic. And on the other side, leaders like Putin, Xi, Modi, and Lula are pushing for a big
Yep, that's
BRICS
wild.
currency coup.
Definitely, it's like the financial world is rewriting the rules. So, what exactly is driving this BRICS currency coup, and why does it seem to be so effective against the US economic influence?
From what we've seen, it's a multilateral strategy where these countries aim to counter Trump's economic war. Basically, they're aligning their interests to weaken the dominance of the US dollar. It's almost like a coordinated power play on the world
Right.
stage.
It's interesting because while Trump is shown panicking over this loss of dominance, the real movers, say Putin and Xi, seem to be orchestrating this shift with a lot more deliberation.
Exactly. You got it. They're not just reacting, they're initiating. It's like they've been planning this currency realignment for a while. The video highlights that these moves are part of a broader strategy to counter what they call Trump's economic war, an effort that's slowly destabilizing the dollar's hegemony in global markets.
And there's this whole element of how interconnected global finance is. I mean, when you see a move like this, it sends ripples through everything from commodity markets to international trade, right? It's like dominoes falling.
Absolutely. It's emblematic of a real geopolitical shift. And think about it. BRICS isn't just a loose coalition anymore. With leaders like Putin, Xi, Modi, and Lula pushing consolidated policies, their united front could fundamentally alter financial alliances.
Yes. On that note, I wonder though, isn't there a risk that such a drastic restructuring could backfire? I mean, unifying such diverse economies under one currency or strategy sounds overly ambitious.
That's a solid point. There's no denying that the BRICS nations come with different economic dynamics and political interests. Yet, the approach seems less about creating a unified currency overnight and more about strategically undermining the dollar in specific financial arenas.
Yeah, that makes sense. True, and it's provocative how the video frames Trump's reaction, almost as if his entire political base is at risk with the dollar's decline. But really, is it just about currency, or does it extend to broader economic sovereignty?
Oh, for sure it goes deeper. It's not just that the US dollar is slipping, it's about reclaiming economic autonomy. This BRICS maneuver, as discussed, is a direct challenge to the established hegemony, aiming for a long-term shift in global economic power.
Indeed. That reallocation of power is dramatic. But respectfully, don't you think that sometimes these analyses can oversell the immediacy of such changes? After all, currency shifts are usually gradual, even if the political implications seem immediate.
That's a fair challenge, and sure, the execution of such geopolitical strategies often faces hurdles. However, the video emphasizes that the coordinated approach among these BRICS leaders is designed to accelerate change, bypassing typical gradual processes. It's like they're trying to force the change rather than wait for it.
Right, I see what you mean. Yeah, exactly. And speaking of acceleration, did you catch the part about how a key influencer, Ben Norton, breaks down the implications of this move? It seems he's really excited about the potential to upend not just the currency, but the entire global order shaped by the dollar.
For sure, Norton's take adds a certain urgency to the analysis. He lays out how, if this coup within BRICS gains traction, we might witness a tipping point in global markets.
Yep, definitely. And it's not just about economics. There's a layer of political warfare here. With Trump panicking, it almost feels like a high-stakes chess game where every move is laden with both economic and political signals.
Exactly. It's like each leader's decision is not only about finance, but also about asserting influence in the post-dollar era.
Absolutely. What's also fascinating is how the video ties in this economic struggle with broader narratives seen in global politics. For instance, with events like economic sanctions, trade wars, and shifting alliances, these currency maneuvers are just the tip of the iceberg.
Right, it's all interwoven. The decline of the US dollar isn't an isolated event. It's part of a larger reordering, one that's being fueled by a mix of economic policies and strategic alliances. And, historically speaking, currency realignments have often preceded major shifts in global influence.
Yes, history does have a lot to teach us here. Absolutely. And while it sounds almost like a movie plot, It's happening in real time, which makes you wonder about the long-term consequences for global trade systems and everyday economies.
Exactly. Think about how dependent many nations have been on the dollar. A move away from it could upend everything from commodity pricing to international debt structures. It's a bold strategy, but one laden with both promise and peril.
It's definitely risky, right? And I'm curious how the markets will react. With such high-profile leaders from BRICS pushing forward, there's bound to be volatility. Do you think we might see a rapid devaluation of the dollar, or is this more a long game?
That's a tough call. The video hints at a scenario where the dollar could see sharp declines as confidence wavers, especially if these moves prove effective. But, on the flip side, such a transition might also stir resistance from entrenched financial institutions. It's like a push and pull between old guard and new order.
Yeah, I can see that exactly. And it's not solely within the economic realm. There are intense political ramifications. For instance, Trump's portrayal as panicking could play into domestic narratives in the US, fueling political debates, and perhaps even influencing future elections.
Absolutely. The intertwining of economic shifts with political strategy is one of the most compelling aspects of this development. It creates a feedback loop where economic decisions drive political actions and vice versa.
It's quite the cycle. Now, I find it really interesting that amidst all this analysis, the conversation on the video managed to resonate with a wide audience. It shows how much people are invested in not just the economy, but global leadership dynamics as well.
Right. When you consider that over 131,000 people tuned into the live stream, it clearly speaks to how these topics strike a nerve. The public is seeing these aren't abstract theories, they're realities that could reshape everyday financial life.
Yes, exactly. It's all connected. And let's not forget the role of media and influencers. The way Ben Norton and others articulate this conversation molds public perception. Sometimes the narrative itself can be as impactful as the policy moves that follow.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Narratives shape policies. If public opinion shifts, then political pressures might force traditional players to reconsider their stances.
Indeed. With all these dynamics, do we see potential for lasting change in the global financial system? Or might this be a temporary upheaval?
It's hard to call, but the signs are certainly there for a fundamental shift. The strategies being laid out seem aimed not at temporary wins, but at establishing an enduring alternative to the dollar's dominance.
Right, that seems the intention. Yet, as we noted earlier, the path is fraught with risks. The unity among BRICS is impressive, but each member carries its own economic baggage and domestic pressures. I mean, it's like expecting a symphony from an orchestra where each musician has a different style.
Precisely. And it's that very diversity that might either be a strength or a weakness. If they harmonize well, the results could be revolutionary. If not, internal friction might stall progress.
That's a valid concern. And shifting back to the dollar, this sudden freefall could, in the short term, lead to market panic and financial instability. Do you think the established powers are prepared to handle a crisis like that?
That's another layer to the puzzle. The reaction of financial regulators and central banks could determine how smooth or turbulent the transition is. While the video suggests a sort of inevitability to this shift, there's still the reality that existing systems might implement countermeasures to mitigate the collapse.
Yes, absolutely. It's like a tug of war, with the old guarding their losses and the new challenging the status quo. The outcome might depend as much on strategic diplomacy as on economic maneuvering.
Exactly. And even if the US dollar staggers a bit for now, there's a chance it could reinvent itself in response to these challenges, though that remains uncertain.
That's an interesting possibility. So, in wrapping up, it seems this is not just an economic crisis, but a full-blown geopolitical reshuffle. The interplay of economic policy, political leadership, and media narratives is setting the stage for something bigger than a currency battle. Would you agree?
Absolutely. It's a multidimensional challenge. What we're witnessing is a recalibration of global power, where the battlefield is both the financial system and international diplomacy. It's like history unfolding in real time, with stakes that affect nations and individuals alike.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's been an enlightening discussion. These kinds of shifts remind us how interconnected our world truly is. Thanks for breaking it down.
My pleasure. Keep an eye on these developments because what we discussed today could very well shape tomorrow's world.